My, oh my. We're here. The Critics Collective. I'm Legacy Lingo. I got Brandon V. Fletcher here with me. And we've made it to the finale of Widow's Bay. It's the first season, Apple TV. And I'm glad we made it. And man, I have so much in my head. I just finished watching it so much that it's gonna be an interesting conversation to the point where I feel like even as we move forward past this conversation, I'm gonna think about more, and then we're gonna end up coming back with another conversation, which I'm good with because I know the comments are definitely gonna spark some stuff. But I have to warn everybody. Okay, if you're new here, we're gonna talk about this in depth. We're gonna spoil. We're gonna peel it back. If you have not watched this season finale or any parts of the season, please go back, watch it, enjoy it, and then be a part of the conversation. We had the mid-season review, episode 6 and 7 together, episode 8, 9, and now here we are on the finale, episode 10, and we're going to talk it all the way out. All right, so a lot happened in this episode, even though a lot of theories were debunked. Shout out to everybody else in the comments. There was a lot of great theories, and it doesn't mean that they won't come to fruition on the next season, but some of the stuff was actually like, it went a different direction. It was debunked. And then there was a lot of theories that you, Brandon, and some of the people in the comments, they came true. We found out that Evan is actually the descendant. I'm jumping right into the spoilers. So in this episode, I'm gonna outline what we talked about, and then we're just kind of gonna be all over the place. So the episode starts. We get Tom goes after Ruth. Everyone's in the shelter, including the sheriff and his wife. Rosemary makes that weird comment about never going to the shelter, but she can't tell you why. Dale finds what I like to call the offering orientation. Evan falls back into being Evan.
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay. And a couple other things which we're gonna talk about. But I want to jump straight to the ending, and then we can go back and go through. But the bells, the bells tolling at the end. The orientation, the what would I call it? The offering orientation. The guy said that for every toll, there needs to be a sacrifice. So as soon as I heard it, I started counting, right? And then this last episode there was 8, and I was like, well, how many was it when the preacher came across when they heard it? So I went back and checked. It was 9. Right. So I was like, oh, okay now. Okay. So then things started all coming together for me. So even though people have died throughout this season's process, the island wasn't satisfied because the sacrifice has to happen in that room where our custodian janitor, I don't know what his name was.
Kenny.
Okay. Kenny the custodian. Right. Like Kenny. So when the preacher thought that he was doing the right thing by killing himself, he didn't do it right. So, and I'm thinking that he probably thought he was helping everybody by doing that, but it has to be done in that room where Kenny was killed, because as soon as that happened, everything kind of paused for a minute, and then we only got 8 instead of 9 bells.
Yeah, but he got the instructions on what to do if he hears the bells, so he should have known to do it in that room. So my thinking is maybe he was like, I can't kill people.
Well, he should have just went in the room himself.
Huh?
He should have just went down there himself then. Just like,
you're right. But maybe he was thinking, I can't kill these people. I'm just gonna kill myself. I mean, he should just went in the room and did it. Though.
He should.
He was trying to do it pretty good. At least you gonna kill yourself. Might as well be a sacrifice.
Right. But I thought that was interesting. Because I didn't realize it was 9 times before, and then it rang 8. So I was like, oh, okay. So the island is okay for the moment now. But for how long? Because he still needs 8 more. Yeah, so I thought that was big. I was like, oh, okay. All right, here we go.
That's plenty. That's plenty of seasons of deaths.
Exactly. And who knows what else the island has in store when it wants to be angry. they could really take this and just do all kinds of so all right, so let's go back to everyone in the shelter. You got the sheriff and his wife.
I get it, but man, I screamed at the TV when he went to Ruth's house and shot her. I
did not. I didn't expect that. I honestly thought he was trying to go stop Tom from doing something.
Right.
Doing something crazy. So I was pleasantly surprised at that twist. Did not see that coming.
Because I was afraid for Loftus when he was like, "Oh, I'm going over there." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Like, yeah, Loftus for the be. I honestly, I was worried the whole time that he wasn't going to make it out of the episode. Even though he's a big part of the show, but part of me was worried. One of the things though that they managed to do while we were waiting on things to unfold to still give us a little bit, that comedy. Dr. Morgan, when he was talking to the sheriff about his wife having a baby tonight, he was like, "It's impossible. Great. She's 7 weeks out," and he's done it at least 3 times this season. He's like, "Yeah, so tell me, where did you get your doctorate? Where did you get your degree? Where'd you study medicine?" You know what I'm saying? It just reminds me of like Kurt Angle, like, "Where are your gold?"
Oh medals? Yeah, where are your gold medals? Also, the office, was that the doctor's office? Where it's like how to subdue somebody, and they had all the diagrams.
Yeah, they had different type of bites. Funny. Spider bites,
Yes.
Animal bite, human bite, and then how to subdue somebody. They had actually like, well, I was like, man, this is.
Speaking of bites, that's so funny because remember, didn't Ruth say one of her boyfriends got bit by an animal and then turned into it? and he just let that come. Like, no, you got to find out more about that. What is going on?
The stuff that just kind of like breezed by, it just kind of just let go. I'm like, wait, no, bring that back, please. Too funny. So, but I thought a lot of little stuff happened in the shelter. We had Dr. Morgan. That was funny. One thing that was debunked for me is I thought that Patricia was going to come out on top as the hero to save everything, and she was kind of contained. Her and Wick were contained to just kind of managing the people here and in the shelter, and basically with all the lore that they had, I was really thought it was going to get far worse before it got better because of the whole story with the church and everything. Especially when they were finding out the food had mold. I'm like, there's people acting like they had already been in there like 12 hours, 24 hours.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made it 5 days.
I'm telling you,
like that guy was talking about.
Yeah, he was letting them know, like, hey, we could be down here for weeks as long as we got water.
I did like that. I like seeing Patricia take command, right? I feel like she's settling in with herself, right?
True.
She's still kind of awkward and everything, but when it's time to, take the lead on something and be commanding and tell people what it is, like she can do that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I did like that part about the shelter scenes where she was fully in control.
Yeah.
Until Dale screwed it up. But which is another thing. I hope this becomes a bit with Patricia. I hope that anytime she has things under control, some craziness happens that takes control away from her, right? Because the same thing happened when she was fighting the boogeyman, right? Yeah. She was almost ready to kill him, and then the sheriff and they messed it up,
and it went left. Yeah, it got even crazier.
And so here we go again, where she got things under control, and then Dale comes screaming, "This place is a death trap!"
Oh my God! And he watched all of those videos. Well, they're not videos, but
I thought he only watched one reel. I thought it was maybe a stack that we still don't know yet.
It seemed like he popped one on. By the time they came back, it seemed like he had gone through a few of them. It insinuated that. I could be looking too deep into it. It insinuated that he was just like, what? So that's going to be a factor in the next season of him, how he reacts to it. How if he's wigging out, or or if he starts freaking other people out, if he tries to leave, I don't know if he's from there or not, but it's definitely gonna play a part in the psyche and of everybody on the island, depending on how he handles it. Because obviously, from the way he came out of there, it doesn't seem like he's gonna handle it very well. So that's gonna be very interesting to see. But one thing from the orientation, they were greeting people that were like less than. They were sacrificing criminals. It's like you may have right, things of that nature. You may have committed a crime, or you may not be a great person, but we appreciate your sacrifice. Like it was like
I thought that logically that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're forced to kill some people, you might as well kill bad people, right?
Right.
But the island is only so big. The population is only so big.
Mm-hmm.
How many criminals are you going to have? And you're going to get to this point where you're just going to start killing people because you don't like them.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be end up being the reality. It's like, this guy kind of gets on my nerves. Can we kill him?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's kind of the messed up part about it, right? Like they're trying to talk themselves into thinking that they're killing bad people, right. But you're just working with a small sample size. There's only so many bad people that's going to be on that island. Right. So you're going to eventually just be killing, good people.
Yeah, and you don't like that person doesn't make them a bad person, but right. You can convince yourself like
it's yourself.
Yeah, no, you're not a good person. You're not a good person. One thing that we didn't get in the shelter, which I was surprised, the book club girls. I really wanted another confrontation.
Oh yeah,
I really wanted another confrontation
I missed that
with Patricia, and then we didn't get that.
Maybe not everybody came. Some people are like, I lived on this island for years. Even my dad. Hurricanes come.
Yeah.
We don't evacuate. I mean, we're, in Florida, we were further away from the ocean most of the time. But some people are just like that. Like, we're just going to ride out the storm.
Yeah. So plenty.
And Ruth seemed to be doing that, right? So maybe they just stayed home. It's like, I will ride it out.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe, but I the pettiness in me still. I wanted another win for Patricia.
Yeah.
For them to either acknowledge that what happened to her, or just let Patricia just put them in their place while she takes charge. But that's okay. Patricia's still alive. We're gonna get more Patricia.
Yeah. And the mean girl's still there. We got plenty of
opportunity.
Beef with them. Also, like she tased. I forgot her name, but she tased her. So like people know what she's capable of now. They're probably not gonna mess with her that much.
that is true. They might just whisper behind her back instead of talking about her in her face, because they don't want to provoke her. But it's okay. I got you back, Patricia. Whatever you need, just call me. All right. So obviously I'm saving the Loftus Ruth situation for later. Just basically talking around the whole episode, everything in there. Evan. So even though Evan, you have a different opinion, I feel like Evan fell back into being Evan, and I get it. He tried to resist.
I don't think he did. I think he did. I don't think he did. I definitely was annoyed with him with the peer pressure, right?
Okay, yeah.
But I still think he was pushing back, right? Like he was pushing. He didn't just blindly go, right? Like
right.
Like went and was like, hey, you know what? Let's not do this, But those kids are gonna do whatever they want anyway,
right?
So I think he's just like, let me go with them. I'm not trying to do what they're doing, but they go do whatever, and then we'll go back and everything will be fine. That's kind of how I saw it. But I was definitely annoyed. Both of them kids got to die anyway, but it's getting on my nerves.
I'm telling you,
but I don't think he's fully fallen back into his old ways. But it was annoying when that happened.
Yeah, but if we wouldn't have gotten that moment, the storm, the island would still be very angry right now.
Yeah.
So it was necessary, and you're right. He wasn't really trying to do it, and then of course her putting the lips on him. I just knew that. I was like, oh, there's nothing he's not gonna do now. This kid. Oh my god. You know what I'm saying? But I like the fact that he didn't when that kid decided to lock the door on him and they took off. I like that he did not leave, and he at least tried to do the right thing.
Tried to help Kenny. I also think that this is going to change him. I think this is going to freak him out. and for season 2, he might see things in different light. He might not be running off like crazy like usual, because last time he did that, he heard somebody get murdered.
Yeah, because he definitely wasn't there when he went looking for him. So
Right.
it is probably going to sit with him.
My only concern, and I kind of trust the writers for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I feel like everybody has like some sort of, not everybody, but Loftus does, the sheriff does, Evan does. Everybody has a little secret. I'm gonna need people to immediately start talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be going this whole season and it'd be episode 5, and Evan doesn't say what happened to Kenny, or Loftus doesn't tell the sheriff what's going on the island, or any of that stuff. I need people to just immediately start comparing notes.
Okay, so now you're forcing me to get to a part of the conversation I was saving, because
okay,
if we're gonna go that route, Loftus Tom got he found out that Evan is a descendant of Richard Moore, and that he's Ruth is his grandmother. Do you think that Loftus is going to tell Evan, if we putting everything out, everybody starts swapping notes? Do you think he's going to tell him, or is that going to be another big thing that probably causes some friction in their relationship in the second season, because he's fighting with telling them?
I think he's going to tell him. I think, yeah, because I think like he's kind of changed, right? Like he knows the son can't leave the island, right? He now knows that there's no sense of keeping this stuff away from him now. And if they do talk and they know that Kenny's dead and maybe Evan was there and like blah, 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 like their relationship has now changed. They both went through a trauma, and they kind of have to, they're probably going to end up bonding over that. So I don't think that's something he would keep from her, and, Evan doesn't know he technically had a grandmother, and now she's dead. So, even though he's formed a relationship with her, oh, well, that's true. We don't know if she's dead.
You about to make me dive into everything I want to talk about now.
That's
but
true.
go ahead.
I think their dynamic is going to change. Or at least I'm being hopeful. It's maybe me hoping the writers go that direction versus this kind of invent a new beef. I don't know, but I think but what they both went through, I think that could be like an opportunity to bond, and
it would be too
maybe
easy
has to slowly get Evan to realize that, like, hey, bro, you can't leave the island, until we fix this. And I'm not gonna kill you. You're my son, so we need to figure out another way to get around this.
So I'm just gonna get into it. So, but before we get into that moment, Tom admitted that he's always known that his wife tried to tell him, and he just laughed it off.
Oh yeah.
So it now, and I'm gonna rewatch it now. It's just gonna just make it even more interesting how much he tries to just act like no, this isn't real.
Oh yeah. His denial. I mean, from the very first episode, you could tell that stuff not happening.
But dang, for him to actually openly admit it. I thought that was big.
I mean, for him, it's more of a, he can admit it now because he's about to do something really terrible.
True.
And it's like, wife tried to tell me. He's thinking, wife tried to tell me because I gotta go kill this old lady now. And
here we are. Because
I actually like that he did go through with it, because I thought he was going to chicken out.
I love that as well.
But I like that he did go through with it, but was relieved that she didn't die. I thought that was to me, I was like, that's a good way for good characterization without is not as much of a cop out if he just didn't do it, right? He went all the way through with it because he realizes there are more important things, and he went through the whole philosophical thought about the trolley problem. The trolley problem has been around for, like, I don't know, I guess longer than trolley. But I thought Ruth's response to that was pretty interesting.
Okay, so there's so much I want to say about that, but still, I got to stay with this because I want to keep jumping back and forth. So for me, I think I still think that Tom actually was successful. I think Ruth died at that moment, but because she's a descendant of Richard Warren and we don't know what the pact was that he made, I think that was her coming back to life. And the reason I think that is because after she got shot, she's moving again and she's touching the back. I'm like, did she get shot in the back of her head? And she's moving like. So I don't know where he shot it. They didn't really show it well, but that moment made me feel like, damn. Did she come back to life? Is she have the same? Is the curse passed on to descendants? Did she die when actually he gave her the medicine, or was that just an excuse for her to kind of be high so she can confess about the baby? But I honestly think, I would like to believe that she died and it came back. It was still messed up from the mixture of the medication. But what are your thoughts on my theory?
I honestly didn't even consider that. I sometimes I take what the show gives me for face value too much. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this could happen, this could happen. And sometimes I'm like, they'll show me something like, yes, I believe what they're showing me. And sometimes like what they're showing me is maybe interpreted slightly different or it's not even true. So I didn't even consider that she wasn't dead. I just assumed that it just didn't work. But now that you say that, I'm like, huh. Okay.
I hope it's a thing. I hope it's a thing. There's a lot of people in the comments that we made jokes about her turning full witch, going crazy. And so now that makes me bring up when he first walked into the house and she ran up those stairs, she moved so well that it scared the hell out of me. And I was just waiting for her to be like, I know why you're here. And all of a sudden be moving really well.
Right. And I was thinking that too. I was thinking that like she knew why, like that conversation was going to happen. And then it didn't. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I just kept waiting on her to turn. And I was like, oh gosh, it's going to be scary as hell. Yeah. And she crawl on the ceiling and stuff. That's where I thought we were headed. Especially, I swear to you, the way she ran up those stairs, I looked at my wife, I looked at y'all and said, oh, she's moving too good. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Ruth is spry for 84-year-old, 83-year-old.
Yeah. Because she had that affair. She said she was young. That was 40 years ago. So she's like, I was 40.
Hey, I told you.
You did say it.
She was out there in the streets.
You called it. 100%. You was like, she could have been out there doing a thing and just gave the kid up. And that's exactly what happened. And a lot of people in the comments were also saying that Evan was going to find some way to tie Evan in to be a descendant of Richard Warren. And man, I'm telling you, when I was sitting there, I was just like, man, you guys nailed it. You guys nailed it. And the notes that the wife. So my theory that she's in the basement was debunked. She said she visited her in the home.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And she said she died, and she visited her and told her she was a secret mom, and that was some of the verbiage used in the notes. So it kind of like locked in that idea, at least for me.
It also makes her look less crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I was really hoping
which is sad.
Yeah, because his mom wasn't really. If somebody's feeding you that about secret moms and real moms, and you're already kind of troubled, you weren't as far off as the letters made you seem. You were actually being fed this information, so you're retaining it and it's coming back out. So, but Ruth says she died, and it kind of confirmed that. So I was like, damn. So what's in the basement, Tom? Seriously?
Yeah. Also, I kind of still want to know what's in the basement. Like, what else is he hiding down there?
Right. I mean. Yeah, I what's in the basement, Tom? What's in the basement? Sorry. So yeah, for her to say all that, it debunked my theory on that. But I just thought it was really interesting. She wanted to be close to her grandson, so she was always watching him. I like when they showed his bedroom and she gave him the emergency ladder. Loftus is like, yeah, all right, this kid. So.
But the whole scene, everything with Ruth was great. And then Loftus having that realization about the lineage and all of that, and like Matthew Rhys acting on that was great. Like
It
he
was.
just went through so many different emotions
Mhm.
during that part, which is valid crash out on his part.
Mhm.
But that's also sad. It's like, oh, like his mother-in-law was right there the whole time and he didn't know that. And, in his head, he's probably like, okay, Ruth is my employee. I see her. She's a nice old lady, but like, it might hit a little different now. Maybe you want to build a relationship with her. And then like in that moment, they're embracing, and then the sheriff comes in and shoots her. And I was just like, that was so sad.
It was sad. It was sad. Because you could see you could see Tom getting into a different place emotionally,
Mhm.
and his perspective on Ruth as a person. It was like he was really just accepting everything that he just received. As he, first he was helping her up, but then he was just kind of like pulling her in, like wow, he's just all that information, just he absorbed it.
Mhm.
He was ready to move forward with that information, like wow, and that's also another way to honor his wife. That's her mom. You know what I mean? So that was, yeah, the sheriff. Oh my God, what I mean, see.
Yeah, he gonna be a problem next season. I'm trying to figure out what they gonna come up with. They need to get their story straight.
Well, if Ruth is alive,
Well,
that's
if she's
the
dead.
tell.
If
Ruth
she's
might
not
just,
dead, he's like, oh, I shot her by mistake.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a lot, which makes it exciting. There's a lot of the stuff that, yeah, they're gonna have to either figure out, explain, or hide, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. Um, I will say this, even though it wasn't fully confirmed, but looking at Ruth's calendar made me understand why she had to be off by 3 every day. She did a lot. That calendar was full.
Yeah.
Now, they never confirmed that, but that's my theory, because at first I
And
thought it
then,
was something superstitious. But
she was helping someone else, and then Tom was like, you do this for her every day? And
every
like for
day.
him, he was just like, this woman's not making it easy for me to kill her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of going back to what we said before, where it's like, if you try to put in your head that somebody's terrible, you can like justify, sacrificing them to the
She was
island.
making it real hard.
But like him spending that time with her just made it so much worse. And he was just like, he really had a hard time. Like, I
He
can't do
was
this.
struggling, which is why I'm glad he went the route he did, because Wick said 2 to the back of the head. I was like, man, I can't see Tom doing that. And
Yeah, he's not
I
gonna
was
do
glad that he found the medication and the note saying don't combine. I was like, okay, this is it's
This is easier. It's nicer.
right. Yeah. And so I was glad that that's the way they went, because you remember when we talked last episode, I was bothered because I thought he was full on with Wick's plan, and I was like, hey, he kind of took to it too easily, and I just didn't feel like that was him. And when he got over there and realized he didn't really know how he was going to do this, I was like, okay, I'm back on board with this. I see it. And then they found an easier way, and it all tied in. I was like, okay,
And
kudos.
then he grabbed the pillow at one point, like he was gonna smother her, and then didn't do that.
Right. And the whole pillow thing, I was like, oh man, is he really gonna try and do this? But then I thought that's what she was gonna turn to be crawling on the ceiling. I was constantly waiting for her to just switch it up and be like, I know why you're here, and that's not gonna be how this ends. But it's okay. I like the Ruth that we got. I hope she is still alive because of the pact that Richard Warren made with the devil. I hope it just passes on generation, and which would mean that that would make it interesting, because then maybe Evan wouldn't be able to die either, maybe, and so they just have to deal with the curse, because Loftus is not going to try and take Evan out to sea to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna let anybody hurt his son. So now we just got to
I'm
prepare
wondering
for the curse.
Now that's one secret I think he's gonna keep, and he's gonna keep it from everybody.
Yeah.
I think he trusts Patricia enough. I think he would tell her. He is not telling Wick, because Wick could do it. I really think Wick could do it. I don't think he'll tell the sheriff, because I think the sheriff would do it.
Yeah, you saw it. The sheriff came in there ready. He was like, well, who is it? He was ready. And the sheriff would definitely, if he found out, he'll find a way.
So, yeah, I don't think... I think that's going to be one secret lingering over the next season, because there's no way he's going to tell anybody that Evan is a descendant. So we'll see. I'm just trying to figure out like all the kind of lingering stories we're gonna have for season 2. And you know what? The writers have been good at surprising us. So
Yeah.
whatever we think might happen, it might all get handled in the first episode of the next season. Right?
That is very possible. Everything can be
And then-
answered, resolved, and then we move on with a new arc.
Yeah, and I did see wasn't able to finish it, but I did see an interview with the writers, and they were talking about being able to make the show have these lore and story arcs, but also having these kind of one-off bottle episodes. They want to try to do both. They don't want it to turn into, I mean, they didn't say this, but like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, they don't want it to turn into like something like Lost, which in itself, finding the reels is kind of very Lost.
It's a lot of Lost elements.
Those recorded, giving off Lost vibes, which is cool. Which is cool.
As long as they know where they're going with the story, then I'm cool. Because Lost, they totally winged it. They guessed it. I don't care what nobody says. At the end, and they were just, I don't know. Like me either. But so what favorite moments from this episode, or does this help you appreciate any other episodes more? Like what do you take away?
I definitely want to do a rewatch. I don't know if I have time to, but I got a year before the next season comes out.
Definitely need to do that.
But a rewatch would be good, and seeing how much they telegraph stuff, or little hints there, things we didn't notice before. Well, I did notice somebody in the comments on one of the videos mentioned that the hands are the shape of the island that the people were drawing.
Somebody did say that.
When they did the I watched the recap. I know you said you don't watch them. I don't. But I did watch the recap today, and then they showed the satellite imagery of the storm coming to the island, and it was exactly the hand.
So another one confirmed. I love it. Man, I'm telling you, man, the comments that we're getting are just elevating the experience that I'm getting with this show. Mm-hmm. And some of them are spot on, and then some of them are wild. But I love to shoot from the hip with some crazy. I'm like, oh, I love that. Yeah, then that would be great if we again, combine it. I'm like, oh, and then this and that. And I would love to see this. And so we're definitely gonna do. We should rewatch it, talk it again. We're definitely gonna do an episode where we highlight some of the comments and the theories, and just kind of have fun with that.
Yeah, this episode was interesting for me because it was funny. But it was dark. But like, I think my favorite stuff was Loftus and Ruth. Those emotional beats I thought were great, and pretty much everything in the shelter I thought was hilarious. So but yeah, my favorite stuff was Loftus and Ruth. I thought that stuff was great. Yeah,
honestly, I was so invested in how it was going to play out with Loftus and Ruth, and then what we were getting and the pacing, and it was so well written, and the acting was so good in that situation. And then of course my mind was just waiting on her to turn. Every time they went back to the shelter, I actually got a little disappointed. Like, but then what they gave us in that moment, it brought me back, and it was good. It was a really good episode. It was really good, really good finale.
Because I love a good finale that gives you answers, but maybe not give you everything. Mm-hmm. Like, we got some answers. We got, some stuff didn't get answered. And now we got new questions. So I think that's kind of like the hallmark of a good finale. And so excited for season 2. I just hate that we got to wait so long. So also, I would have been really mad if the show did not get renewed. Imagine watching this episode and then it got canceled.
And I think that's why... I honestly, I think they weren't sure. They're hopeful and weren't sure. I think that's kind of why it ended the way it did. Like, we could just, if they didn't give us another, we would be mad that we're not getting more, but realistically, we could understand, like, all right, they got to get to a point. They got eight more sacrifices, and this is going to continue. And they can leave it there, but like, that's their life from now on. Right. And they left enough of us wanting more, hoping it gets renewed, and it did, thank goodness. So now we can have fun with it. And like you said, that's potential. If one body stopped the storm, the one right sacrifice from the right location, because we had multiple people dying this season, but it didn't stop the storm. It didn't stop the curse. If the janitor Kenny, I don't know. How did you know his name is Kenny? Where'd you?
It was because of the previous episode with the painting.
Okay, right. I wasn't paying enough attention. Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
so I didn't forget him after that.
All right, well, R.I.P. Kenny. So if we wouldn't have gotten, for one kill to make everything kind of calm down for the moment. And then the island warned you with eight bell tolls, like, all right, that was good. Appreciate you. But I'm gonna need 8 more. That was big. That was a big reveal. That was probably, for me, that was because I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about the bell, and I wasn't really thinking about how many sacrifices the island need, and that just brought it all in. So for me, that was a bigger reveal than Evan being Ruth's grandson, which was still a good reveal. But also, you guys have called that out, and so whenever stuff comes out that everybody's kind of already leaning towards, it's cool that you were right, but it was already in the back of my mind. So when I get something that catches me off guard, like I really wasn't paying attention to, and I should have been. That's why the rewatch is gonna be good. The bell tolls and how many we got in that episode versus how many we got in the last episode. I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, that's what's up. But we gotta wait a while.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
I was gonna say I have like one thing kind of popped into my head about season 2. So let's say we do a time jump, right? Let's say we do a time jump and they kind of figure it out, this stuff, right? Like maybe not a year, but maybe it's like a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they all come together. They have a council now, right?
Everybody's prepared to deal with the curse,
right? And what if they just use the tourism as a way to get people to kill? Like, what if they're like, hey, we're starting a nonprofit for prisoners who just got out of jail.
I mean,
and they can come to the island for free and go on vacation, or they can live here for free or whatever.
No emotional attachment. Yeah. They can get fresh meat, no emotional attachment, serve them up periodically. They honestly, I think because Loftus is not going to want to kill Evan to stop the curse. He's not going to take him out past that line. They're going to have to adapt to something, and they're going to get darker than they ever thought they would.
Yes.
So you probably nailed it, and that's probably exactly where it's going. Bring more people to the island to sacrifice, whether it be criminals or whatnot. But that's probably exactly where it's going, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah, they can bring some politicians from the mainland, right?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Politicians. Who else? Like
some high school bullies,
financial crime people. Like I don't know. feed all the elites to the island.
There you go. I love it. All right, so when we did your friends and neighbors finale, I had almost forgot to do this, but we're gonna get it in now. All right, so we got to rate this thing, yes, because we've been talking for every episode without rating it, but now we need to rate the season as a whole. Okay. Do you need a minute to get your thoughts together? I'm going to go ahead and okay. All right. So here at the Critics Collective, we give accolades going from 0 to 5. And I want you guys to get in the comments and let us know how many accolades you're rating it. 5 accolades is excellent. 4 accolades is good. 3 accolades, average. 2 accolades, below average. 1 accolade, poor quality. Or 0 accolades, horrible, absolute trash. Brandon, how many accolades are you giving Widow's Bay season 1 as a whole?
Oh, easily a 5. Easily a 5. One of my favorite shows on TV. I'm sorry, your friends and neighbors should have sucked that land of better with season 2.
Yeah.
So this is my new favorite. I mean, your friends and neighbors is my number 2 probably, but Widow's Bay, I just love everything about it. I love the cast. I love the tone. The cinematography is great. The directing is great. The acting is great. The comedy, like it gives you everything, right? It gives you something. It's going to give you emotion. It's going to give you fun. It's going to give you creepy. It's going to give you a little bit of violence. and it's like everybody is just operating at the top of the game between the writers, the actors, and even the guy, the boom operator, is probably at the top of his game.
That's right.
So yeah, it's my favorite thing right now, and give it a 5.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I've given it a 5. The comedic timing, you got everything. So I'm not gonna repeat everything you said, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. Giving it a 5. And then they stuck the landing. And I'm anxious to see what happens in season 2. Now, if you guys are sad that this is over, don't worry. We're gonna do a rewatch, and that's another reason I'm getting 5. It has strong, rewatchability. Is that a word? I don't know. Okay, thank you. Strong rewatchability. Because now I'm gonna go back and really just tie in everything that they're given, and just look. And we're gonna have another conversation about that. We're gonna come back and talk about some of the better comments, especially after this episode, theories into season 2. But more conversations coming as we're watching more content. Right now, Apple TV has us. Apple TV has been dropping some really strong content, and we're watching Maximum Pleasure Guarantee. We got the mid-season review already up for the first 5 episodes, and then we're going to continue to discuss each episode after that as that show ramps up. So check that out on our page, and we're going to do the same thing with Cape Fear, which just started a couple of weeks ago. So once we hit the mid-season on that one, we'll discuss it, and we like to wait for the mid-season so we can really have a lot to discuss, because of a lot of these shows, the first episode may give you something, but then 2 or 3 is world building, and it kind of slows down. So we'll give it the mid-season so we can have a lot to really discuss and chew on, and then we'll do every episode after that. And if there's more that you guys want us to watch and discuss, drop it in the comments. Let us know. All right.
Yeah, let us know what you're watching. What are your favorite shows right now? Maybe we'll get on. Maybe we're already watching, maybe not reviewing it. But yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. And man, so much content out there. And I would have missed this if it weren't for you. So thank you, Brandon, for putting me onto this. When you were in there, just like, it's creepy. And my immediate mindset was like, oh, it's probably gory too. I'm not doing it. And you were like, no, it's not gory. I was like, okay, check it out. And I'm glad I did, because it is one of my favorite shows right now. For sure. All right. So, and if you guys like what we're doing, you want to support the channel, you want to continue to help us grow, make sure you please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the alerts, and join our collective community. All right, so this was Widow's Bay, episode 10, the season 1 finale, and the episode was titled, "We Hope You Enjoyed Your Time," and I hope you guys enjoyed your time here with this discussion and this review. We're the Critics Collect. What's up?
One last thing, did you go back and read the episode descriptions?
I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait until after the season finale.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna go back and watch it. When we talk about the comments, we can also talk about those descriptions, because I remember you said they were pretty comedic, almost on the like tourist type, or from the perspective of somebody from the island. So looking forward to that. Oh man, this is great. All right, guys, we're the Critics Collective. I am Legacy Lingo, and I have Brandon V. Fletcher here with me, and we will see you guys on the next one.